Hello, I'm Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, now you can hold critical healthcare info right in the palm of your hand. We'll share why it's so app-peeling. Then, you've planned for retirement. Can you really afford your leisure? We'll review a go-to list to keep your new life lucrative. We'll shine light on the path that leads to melanoma. Plus, is your home ho-hum? We'll accentuate the positive to create a mini makeover. And can a late payment on a bill stop you from getting a job?
It's time to get G-Oing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Are you becoming a tech-savvy senior? At least a little bit? Well, do you at least have a cell phone? If so, then help with healthcare can be found right in the palm of your hand. Mark Pensick is here to explain. Mark's the Vice President of Member Engagement for Medical Mutual of Ohio. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Pleasure to be here.
So there's a program or what's called an app for your cell phone,
right?
And it comes from Medical Mutual, and it'll help us with our medical care?
Yeah. The app basically does a couple of things. First, it helps you find a doctor, urgent care, or hospital close to you, provides directions, allows you to put the contacts into your phone, and then use GPS to get there whenever you're ready.
So basically, with your own phone, if you fall down or you hurt yourself or you think you might need an X-ray because you might have broken your arm. You can just go on your phone, punch in some buttons, and it'll tell you where you can go and
absolutely,
and where you're covered by insurance, and and get it taken care of.
Yes, turning on your GPS, it'll find your current location, give you a list of locations right by you, and then give you directions to get there for any Medical Mutual covered facility.
So now you could go on the Medical Mutual website, I assume, and get similar information.
You absolutely could. And our website does offer a variety of information and topics. The app is built for convenience, basically when you're on the go, to enable you to, when you're just not next to a PC. And even better, it also allows you to have your ID card right on hand, and you can fax or email it to a provider in the event that you forgot it.
So your actual, this is like now with the airlines or, with all these, you can just pull something up and show it, and you got your coupon right on there, and they'll put your Medical Mutual card right on your phone.
Absolutely, and you can show it to your provider.
Now, while that is great for convenience purposes, should we be worried about our privacy?
That's a great question. The app uses the same security methods and policies as our website. Second, it uses very strong password authentication. And third, it clears all of your personal information from your phone when you log out of the app. And for additional security information, don't reveal your username and password. Don't use your name, phone, address. Don't leave your device unattended. Be aware of phishing emails. Don't store your password on your device, and log out after you're done with the app.
What's a phishing for our viewers that aren't so tech savvy as me, of course?
Those are emails that come from unsavory characters out there that are enticing you to click on a link and visit a website that appears to be something you would be very familiar with to enter personal information.
So don't click any links unless you are familiar with who's sending it to you.
Absolutely.
All right, now this app, which sounds really good, how much does it cost us?
The app is free. In fact, it works on most devices out there today, smartphones,
Great.
tablets, and other devices. And to download it today, you can go to the App Store or Google Play and type in MedMutual, all one word.
So there's something called App Store, AppStore.
Yes.
And you can go to that and you can find Medical Mutual and get this app.
Absolutely.
Or something called Google Play.
Right.
All right, and now a lot of us, maybe we can get to this place and get the app downloaded, but what if it's not working right or we're not sure how to use it? Is there help? Is there a phone number, somebody we can talk to?
Absolutely. Our live technical support is available 24/7.
Great.
It's easy to use. We think it's great, and we hope a lot of others will start to use it as well.
Sounds like a wonderful progress. Thank you very much for joining us today, Mark.
You're welcome.
Having health info on the go is an appropriate use of your cell phone. To tap into this latest technology, visit medicalmutual.com/mobile app today. This is good and makes your life a lot easier. We'll be back.
To learn more about Medical Mutual of Ohio, click to www.medmutual.com. Next, the work involved for a successful retirement. But first, during the gold rush, 49ers poured over pans to trap their treasure. But way back when, in ancient times, a prospector only gathered his golden goodies if he went on the lam. Can you guess how early prospectors prospered? We'll weave the truthful answer when we return.
I know the devastating effects that back pain can have not just on you, but your entire family. Instead of covering up your pain with drugs or surgery, we offer a procedure called NonSurgical Decompression. Decompression increases spinal disc space and it draws nutrients back into the disc. This allows healing to take place from the inside out. So if you're suffering with chronic pain, there is hope. I invite you to call our office to see if this proven treatment option can mean freedom from your pain.
We won't pull the wool over your eyes. Ancient gold hustlers rustled up their riches by using the fleece of sheep to strain a precious payload from the stream. They just couldn't pass up that golden opportunity.
You made it to retirement. Congratulations! The money you worked so hard for is now providing the leisurely lifestyle that you love. But don't get too comfortable because you still have a job to do. Jim Lineweaver's here to give you your assignment, reevaluating your investment assets. Jim's a certified financial planner with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So we've worked through a plan to get to retirement so we could plan on stopping work.
Right.
Shouldn't we be set for life?
Well, you'd like to think so, and as long as you keep the eye on the store, you shouldn't really run into a problem. But the problem is, you really want to spend time with grandkids, you want to travel more, you want to do things, but you got to have somebody behind the scenes that's going to be staying on top of everything for you.
And when it comes to staying on top of things, you've made a list of points that we need to pay attention to, and it starts with budgeting.
It does. Money can easily flow out sometimes faster than it's coming in, and you got to be careful.
It's easy to do that.
It is. And that's what you want to do in retirement. So if you've planned correctly, you should be able to spend more in retirement. But concentrate and keep an eye on your budget. Do like an annual review. How much is coming in? How much is going out? Where are some of those expenses and stuff lying? And just make sure you fine-tune them on an annual basis.
Is there a rule of thumb as to how much money we should be taken out or can be taken out without having to worry too much?
There is. A while back, people used to say, if you're in the 5 or 6% range, you should be fine. But actually, a study by Trinity University came out recently. And what they said is you should stay with a 4% consumption rate or a withdrawal rate. So for every $100,000, don't be spending more than about $4,000 a year off that if you want to try to keep your principal intact and also be able to have that money hopefully grow over time.
So the 4% comes from a calculation of growth and interest, not that you should be diminishing your principal by 4% a year.
Yeah, you want to think about just overall, look at all your assets and take out 4% of the gross amount and try not to exceed that at this time.
Now, just about all retirement plans include something in stocks. That's pretty typical. What's on your list to manage the market?
Well, in the last 4 or 5 years, the stock market's done very well. So you could look back and sit back and say, I think it's going to continue to grow at that pace. And as we know, in the last 10 to 12 years, there's been some serious correction. So what you want to look at doing with your investments, if you do have stocks or bonds and things like that in there, make sure you rebalance on an annual basis. So as some asset classes do better than others, you might want to bring those back in line so you're not taking on too much risk in retirement.
And you still use that rule of 100 that you've told us about
100
before?
minus your age is all the amount of money that you want to have at risk. So if you're 60 years old, then what ends up happening is you can only have about 40% totally exposed at risk with no protection. Have the other 60% somewhat protected, something that you can rely on a little safer.
So if you're 60, 100 minus 60, 40% in stocks when you say in risk.
Could be, but also could be a bond market right now because the fear of rising interest rates. So interest rates have been a historical low. Even Buffett several months ago said, be wary of the bubble that's coming in the bond market. So it doesn't always have to be stocks.
So, and let's move to interest rates. interest rates have been low over the last few years.
Historically
Very
low, yes. And we've never really seen a big burst in the bond market for over 30 years. So just remember that as interest rates go up, bonds go down, and the longer that bond is, the bigger the price fluctuation. So what we've done since the beginning of the year is really scale back or shorten those level of bonds so that you don't have as much volatility in that sector. So it's not something that you can just put under the mattress and put away, and you really do have to stay on top of those.
And your last point is make sure that you have a sufficient emergency fund.
Yeah, you don't want to have to, let's say the market pulls back, you had your money in stocks, you don't want to just have to panic and sell out at a low. So have a good emergency reserve, 3 to 6 months set aside. Your hot water tank goes, something happens with the family, make sure you have a good reserve set aside.
So you don't have to sell stocks on an emergency basis at the wrong time, basically.
Exactly.
Jim, thank you. Good advice.
My pleasure.
Even after you're retired, you need to keep working on your investments so they will keep working for the rest of your retirement. For help, give Jim a call. His number's up next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net. Next, sun-kissed or cursed? Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Never the twain shall meet is no longer true. Impersonator Frank Wilson allows you to meet Mark Twain through a performance filled with anecdotes and insights. The Independence Library has booked an evening of entertainment for Tuesday, July 16th at 7 p.m. To discover details, call 216-447-0160 or read more about it at www.cuyahoga-library.org.
We know skin cancer is a growing concern, but now trends are telling us that older adults need to be especially aware of signs and symptoms. Dr. Bruce Averbook is a surgical oncologist with Metro Health, and he's here to update our information about aging and melanoma. Dr. Averbook, I'll call you that formally, although Bruce is a longtime friend of mine. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, it's good to be here, Armand.
Should we be worried or simply awake and aware?
We should be awake and aware. I think that's really important. Surveillance and self-surveillance is really important. And I know the focus today is talking about the elderly who actually have an increasing risk. We see more melanoma in the elderly now, and it's actually even more deadly in the elderly, melanoma.
Now, we're in Ohio. Ohio's not exactly the sun capital of the world. Do we have a much lower rate of melanoma than other states?
Actually, Ohio ranks number 6 in the United States.
From the top?
From the top.
Oh my gosh, why is that?
Well, there's actually quite a bit of sun exposure, probably with the lakes, probably with farms. But I think people make use of recreation in Ohio just as well as California or Florida. And people travel, they go down to Florida.
So it's a big issue here.
It is a big issue.
All right, so we've been told in the past that if you've been a sun god as a teenager, you've caused the damage, exposure early in life. So is there anything to do now as we're older?
Yeah, I think one thing that we're learning is the risk for melanoma, although we think a lot of it happens when you're young, 1 or 2 bad burns set you up, is still cumulative, especially for certain types of melanoma. And in addition, all skin cancers carry a greater risk with increased cumulative sun damage and sun exposure.
So still wear the hat and the lotions and other things?
Slap on the sunscreen, they say, every 2 hours while you're out in the sun.
All right, so now, we start to have aging spots. I have some up there. What should we be looking for to determine what's concerning?
Well, they're the A, B, C's, D's, and E's of melanoma. A, for asymmetry, if you take a lesion that you're worried about and you look at, cut it in half. If it's not equal on each side, see your dermatologist, okay? B is border. If the border is irregular or changing or scalloped, that's a sign it could be a melanoma. C is color, changes in color or different colors, tan, different tones, darker, lighter, red, white, and blue, they say, for some lesions, gives you some alert. D, the diameter, they say over 6 millimeters, like the size of a pencil eraser, you need to think about it and watch it, but especially change. And after diameter comes elevation, E, something that changes in size, grows out, or evolves. That's not supposed to happen.
All right, so you take a look at yourself. You do use the A, B, C, D, E, which is great.
Right.
And you're still worried. You pick up the phone and call your regular doctor? Do you call a specialist like you? Who do you call?
Well, I think the thing to do is you speak with your regular doctor, because he can set you up and refer you to appropriate people. But you need to see a dermatologist. We have a number of excellent dermatologists at Metro. There are wonderful dermatologists in this region, but you need to see a dermatologist. I'm happy to see people, but usually people come to see me after the primary diagnosis is made. But
and there are things that if somebody comes to you, you can help them even once it's been diagnosed.
Surgery is still the best treatment for melanoma. We have our best results from that, and caught early, it's really curable.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Good information.
Likewise.
Great to see you
Good
again.
to see you.
Prevention through protection plus knowing your ABCs, Ds, and Es of suspicious skin is your best weapon in the fight against melanoma. To learn more, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to my friend, Dr. Bruce Averbook, for joining us today.
Find out more by calling Dr. Averbook's office at Metro Health at 216-778-4795 or visit www.metrohealth.org/cancer. Want more Metro Health medical information? Be sure to tune in to WTAM 1100 Radio each Saturday morning at 7 for Metro Health and You, hosted by Dr. Christine Alexander. Next, helping your home look a shade brighter. It's time to get up and go, an exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, I'm Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're here to show you how to work those ever important calf muscles in the lower half of the leg. These are very important muscles because they help to propel us as we walk and even as we get up and down those stairs. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to need one dumbbell for this and a firm surface to have next to us just in case we lose our balance, because we are going to be standing on one foot. Make sure the dumbbell is in the side that you're going to start with, so let's go ahead and lift our left leg, and all we're going to do is simply raise up on our tiptoes and dip down to our heel, okay? So get as high as you can on your tiptoes and then let yourself fall back down to the heel. Slow and controlled movements. Let's go ahead and switch sides. How you feeling?
That side didn't work so good.
Now let's try the other side. All right. All the way up, all the way down. Looks like you got it.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right.
All right. 15 to 20 repetitions, ladies and gentlemen. This is an endurance exercise, 3 to 4 sets, and you'll be on your way to stronger legs. All right, now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
Is your home suffering from the ho-hums? Then it might be time to bring in a professional stager. Kim Ozberry has designed an assortment of affordable mini makeover ideas that can banish the blahs. Kim's the owner of Staged and Styled, an interior design and staging company. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so now we're not talking big time, over the top, break the budget kind of renovations, right? You have ideas that can be expensive to spruce up our home.
That's right. They are inexpensive. Decorating doesn't have to be costly to make an impact. Sometimes all we need are a few new accessories and to place our furniture in a new arrangement to create a whole new room. We've all heard that a fresh coat of paint can do wonders for a space, but the ideas I have for you today are so much easier than painting an entire room.
First is rolling out the carpet. Tell us about that one.
Correct. In the wintertime, we tend to decorate with heavy textures and fabrics and rugs. And so in the summertime, it's a really great idea to lighten things up a bit. And one good way to do that is with an indoor-outdoor rug.
Okay.
And they come in all different colors and textures and patterns. And one of my favorites is the chevron stripe from Ballard Designs. And it is a very good way to be trendy without a lot of financial commitment. For example, an 8x10 indoor-outdoor rug can run around $230 versus a traditional wool-type rug. They start about $500 and can go up to $2,500 or more.
Will the more inexpensive rugs still be able to withstand if you got your grandkids over running all over it?
Absolutely.
All right.
These rugs are awesome for grandkids, messy husbands, kids, pets, spills of all kinds. They clean up with a little soap and water, so it's all good.
All right, now your next suggestion I found a little bit odd because we're talking about indoor decorating, and yet you're talking now about garden stools?
Correct. Garden stools are a decorating workhorse. They are wonderful products to have in your home. They come in all different colors, and so you can definitely find one that fits your decor. They are so versatile. You can use them as nightstands or end tables, ottomans, footstools. What I like to do is place 2 to 3 underneath a sofa table just to add a pop of color to a room, and then you can pull them out when you need extra seating. And then the last tip is to place a garden stool beside your tub while you're soaking in the tub as a landing for your magazines and candles.
That sounds good, better than landing right in the
That's
tub.
right.
All right, so next you have something that sounds more like a cooking tip, using herbs.
Yes. Herbs are a wonderful decorating tool. If you place herbs in colorful containers, they make great accents for any room in your home. And herbs tend to be a little expensive if you purchase them in the grocery store, so why not grow your own and just snip off what you need when you need it? You can also decorate with them. Put the herbs in colorful pots and put them on your windowsill. Or another idea is to put 3 to 5 of them down your kitchen table or dining room table. So you create a cute centerpiece. You also bring life into the room, and they also smell wonderful. They have a great fragrance.
And your last tip costs nothing, and that's just rearrange what you have, basically.
Right. Don't be afraid to shop your own home. Move your furniture from room to room, mix up accessories between rooms, and it's amazing the different types of looks that you can create just by using what you already own.
So this picture and the last one had basically all stuff from the same place, same home, and you just moved it around.
That's correct. It was all of the homeowner's belongings, possessions.
Wow,
Yep.
very interesting. Well, thank you for this advice.
Thanks for having me.
Very helpful. Change just one thing in a room and it changes everything. And that's the kind of decorating that's easy on effort, easy on your eyes, and easy on your pocketbook too. And want to make it even easier? Just give Kim a call. Her number's up next.
Learn more by calling Staged and Styled at 234-678-0836 or click to www.stagedandstyled.com. Next, problems with your credit history can have shocking consequences.
They haven't been inducted to a Hall of Fame. They don't get stopped for autographs or photos. They don't have entourages or shoe deals. But they still deserve our applause and admiration because they are fighters, believers, heroes. We are the Metro Health System. We are the proud sponsor of the comeback.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Here's your second chance because we're going to list all of that information again. Then we'll be back to tell you if not getting hired could have something to do with your history. You were laid off and have been out of work for some time. As a result, you've fallen behind on your bills. Even though you've got a great resume and strong references, you can't get hired. What's going on? Here with a surprising diagnosis of the problem is our doctor of the law, Mike Solomon. Thanks for joining us, Mike.
Hi, Herman.
Mike, in our example, what could be the problem?
Well, one thing it might be that maybe this prospective job you're looking for, they may think you're too qualified for the job, or it may be that they think you're too old. Now, even though it's illegal to discriminate based on age, It's hard to prove, and it does happen sometimes.
All right, but you have a more surprising diagnosis of what the problem could be.
Well, you mentioned earlier they had lost their job, so they couldn't pay some bills. Many employers look at your credit report, and if they see a lot of unpaid bills or a bankruptcy or foreclosure, that may be enough for some employers not to want to hire you.
So they can look at your credit history, and if they don't like it, that's legal to not hire you for that reason?
Well, some states make it against the law to do that, but Ohio, it is legal to look at your credit report and make a decision based on it.
Why in the world would an employer reject a qualified applicant who could do the job just because of a problem with their credit history?
Well, sometimes it may make sense. Maybe you're applying for a job that you have financial responsibilities, and they're a little nervous about having someone with financial problems in that position. Other times it may not make sense. There was a case with someone was applying for a job as a shoe salesman. Clearly, why does it matter if that person has financial problems?
So let's say we're concerned about this issue. Is there anything we can do to protect ourselves?
Yes, one thing you might want to do is get copies of your credit reports. There are the three major agencies. Get those reports. You're entitled to one free one from each one per year. Take a look at it, see what's on there. There may be some mistakes that could cause you a lost opportunity. So if there's a mistake, you can correct it. Or at least you'll see what's on your report, and that way you can anticipate what your employer may be looking at, and it may help you react.
If you've had credit problems, should you raise that proactively when you're applying for a job?
Probably not. First of all, many employers don't bother looking at your credit reports. And secondly, if they're going to do that, they have to ask your permission to look at your credit report. So if they ask your permission, then you ought to be prepared to be proactive at that point and explain why it isn't a problem.
Good information. Thank you, Mike. If you're having trouble getting a new job, a bad mark in your credit file could be the problem. While it may not be fair, it is legal in Ohio. So get your credit file, review it, and follow Mike's advice.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.budishandsolomon.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, we'll take a healthy look at prostate health as you age. Is it settling to consider a life settlement? We'll add up important advice to settle this question. We'll make book that the Cleveland Public Library has events you need to check out. And we'll take time to tell you how to keep your teeth in tip-top shape. Until next week, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.